Hi folks, we are at Pine Ridge Gardens by Kitty and Gary. This is a garden in Orchard Park, New York, featured on the tour of the Open Gardens by Gardens Buffalo Niagara. This particular garden opens on Thursday and Friday in the month of July. So we are with the gardener Kitty here. Yeah, say hi to us.
Hi. Please join us for a walk through our garden.
Yeah, let's take a look what's happening here in Kitty and Gary's beautiful garden. So the first thing I notice is you have the gravel driveway.
Yes.
And the
Natural.
crunching sound is very soothing, and it's more, the rainwater can stay in the garden, in the ground much better. If it's a hard surface, they tend to be run off.
Right.
And you have this wooded area. You have a lot of hostas. But beyond this area, we have a stunning display of colors, primarily daylilies. But we also have poppies. But the poppy already spanned this time of year, right? The poppy flower.
Well, some are still open.
Some of them are still.
There's a few. If you notice over in that direction, there's some of the single petal. There's the two types.
Yeah.
Now, see, here's a double. Let me see if I can pop in
Oh,
here.
yeah. That is very nice.
These are the doubles,
Oh, very stunning.
and
Yeah.
these are the singles. Single petals.
Yeah.
And
So,
they're just
yeah.
interspersed.
So what is the idea behind your garden design?
Well, my husband was the one about 25 years ago that originally designed everything, and we started over next to the deck because that's where we are most of the time. And he designed all of the paths and the walkways, and then section by section we added on.
Exactly.
My husband was the hosta expert.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And my great passion, of course, which you can see, are the daylilies.
Daylilies. Yeah, they're addictive. Yeah. And so I think you like color. So one of the main idea behind this design is to show off the color. And you mentioned people always thought daylilies they're going to be yellow or orange, but you can see you have they can be in every shades of the bright color.
Oh, from
And you
a
said
deep purple, pale pinks, beautiful mixtures of color. If you've noticed that yellow one there, it's called hazel.
they have different patterns and
Different
texture. The
patterns,
petal have
yes.
different ruffle on the edge,
Right?
which makes them so lovely. In addition to the daylilies, obviously, you have the poppy. You also have large patches of the rose campion.
Right.
Yeah, let's go to see the rose campion. Before we go there, take a look at this design. Just very simply, place a blue watering can on a blue stool. The color just contrasts and complement with all the other blossoms surrounding it, the daylily, the other lily. So those are fall sunflower, right?
Yes, fall sunflower.
Fall
yes.
sunflower, then the rose campion, and the bee balm.
Of course, bee balm,
Yeah,
sure.
this is just stunning. Yeah. So let's take a look at the rose campion. So the rose campion is a biennial, which means that you probably wouldn't flower the first year.
Right.
The second year, they really take off. Look at the color. They have this silvery foliage with this hot pink flower. It's just almost blinding.
Particularly in large bunches. A lot of people, when they first come in, and particularly they see this leaf, I can't think off the top
Lamb's ear?
Lamb's ear.
Yeah,
They think it's lamb's ear, so we have to explain, no, it's
Yeah.
rose campion.
Yeah, this is much more showy than lamb's ear.
Right.
Lamb's ear doesn't have very showy flower. So one thing I think I would like to explain to the viewers. So rose campion and the poppy, they are considered as self-seeding plant.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing this wonderland. It's
Yeah.
You're welcome.
just amazing.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
So we are filming during the open garden. So we have garden visitors walk through the garden. Yeah. And so for the self-seeding plants, what is your best practice that you are using? Should let them do their thing?
Oh, I do, until it gets to the point, and particularly when it starts blocking pathways and so on, I have to remove it.
So you
Luckily-
tend to let them just self-seed, and if they really get into your place, you really don't want them to be, they're easy to remove.
Correct.
And so there's a distinction between those type of self-seeding plants with other perennial, because the self-seeding plants, they are not very easy to cultivate. By cultivate, I mean if you start from the seed, sometimes it wouldn't work out very well. So they self-seed, they come up at a location they like. It's not what you like them to be. So you really have to give them the space and opportunity to really to reach their full potential. But if you do, they can be very, very striking.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have given seeds, pods to people who've asked for them, and in the last 7 years that the poppies came in here, only one person came back and said they were able to grow the poppies.
Yeah. So the self-seeding plants, they are finicky.
Yes.
But once they find their spot, they will be
Come back,
stunning.
for
Yes.
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's move forward.
Sure.
You see, this is a very large-scale garden. This, I wouldn't even call this like a mixed border. This entire backyard is a huge planting ground. Yeah. So the name of your garden is Pine Ridge Gardens.
Right.
Yeah. And any particular?
Well, if you notice, my husband planted all of the trees as well.
Oh, okay.
Our favorite is the white pine.
Yeah.
But we also have Austrian pines. If you notice over in here, we have a lot of spruce. The two right there are called Fat Albert.
Oh, I see. They're not slender by any means.
They are. Oh no, it's just the nickname apparently. But they're the bluest of the blue spruce.
I see. Yeah, they're lovely. They have this contrast with your flower, with the daylily and the poppy and rose campion.
And the green pines and evergreens behind.
Yeah, they have so you have a nice backdrop for your garden to
Right.
really show off the blossoms here. Yeah. So let's move on to see the other area of the garden.
And even if you notice the Japanese maples, even the pines, we like to
Prune them
up so you can see the branching.
to show off the branching.
Right.
So
Even
by
that large maple.
doing this, even in the winter, you can really appreciate
Oh,
the
it's
structure of the tree, especially when we have a little bit of snow.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, they will just pop up
Yes.
in the garden. So you have winter interest. This is
Correct.
actually very important. We have the summer, but summer is so short. The flower, the perennial, they bloom, but for a couple of weeks, even maybe 1 or 2 months.
Well, yeah.
Then you want to enjoy your garden for the remainder 10 months of a year. Then you need other things, evergreen, as well as tree with a very nice structure.
Hemlocks. The one thing though about daylilies, and I think that's important if anyone is planning on putting them in, you want to have the 3 seasons. You want the early blooms, the mid bloom, and then the later blooms. So I have some now that won't come up until August and will bloom through
okay.
September.
I see. So by doing this, you really extend the season.
Right.
It just maximizes the enjoyment.
And I tend to keep most of the later bloomers up closer to the deck because that's where we will be,
I see.
after
Yeah.
official gardening
Yeah,
season is
yeah.
over.
You tell me a little bit about this area. This area has a lot of boulders and rocks. So why is that?
Well, when my husband first started 25 years ago and decided to put in a water garden, it was huge. In front of that blood-good Japanese maple,
Oh, okay.
we had a waterfall that was 4 feet deep. This was the end of the water garden, which was 3 feet deep.
Oh, wow. So this entire backyard used to have a large pond.
Very large,
Okay.
very large.
So what happens then? So what happened then?
Well, after 10 years, it was a lot of maintenance, first of all. But after 10 years, one fall, a mink got in under the netting and ate 62 fish.
Wow, that's so
And
upsetting. Yeah.
It was upsetting, but I think that was our clue that it was time for a change.
Yeah.
So my husband, of course, filled all this in, which I was very happy about because
You
that
have
meant
space
more,
to do the
more
daylily.
daylilies. So anywhere, this whole area then he designed. So therefore all of these very large rocks and stones were all from the original water garden.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Wherever you have any of the other larger boulders, they will be from the water garden.
Yeah, so I guess the message to the viewer is don't be afraid to make drastic change in your garden. If something no longer interests you, make change. I mean, the garden is for your own enjoyment. Try something new and
Absolutely.
use what you have. For example, you utilize the boulder, the rock. This is a very, very nice, like a patio area with the fountain, surrounded by the beautiful bloom of the daylily. Yeah, it's stunning. Let's walk through from here.
Sure.
Try not to speak. Let the viewer listen and enjoy the soothing water flowing sound from the fountain. Okay. The STLB is stunning this year. Everything is so beautiful.
Thank you. But we also incorporate, echinacea into the program and a black-eyed Susan, some brown-eyed Susans.
Yeah, so you definitely want different variety of plants. And I
yes.
see you have the hardy
A lot
geranium.
of phlox.
So the hardy geranium, is that Roseanne?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Roseanne was called by the Chelsea Flower Show the plant of the century.
Really?
That's a very heavy title. So he's considered one, I mean, not only one of the best variety of hardy geranium, one of the best plant, the plant of the century,
Oh,
because they bloom throughout the summer.
Oh,
and
beautifully.
they have this very unique shade of bluish purple, and they rainbow, they mingle with other perennial, they climb on top of other plants. And they don't need much maintenance. You can cut back if you want, but you don't have to. They have those very long arms and legs. They love to get in between other plants. So give you a very, very free-flowing, very naturalistic look in the garden.
And that was our whole purpose. We wanted something that kind of on the order of an English cottage garden. And we wanted everything close together. It eliminates a lot of weeding.
I have just been visiting in the UK, and I can tell you, in England they don't have garden in this scale very often. Yeah.
No, but they have this theme of a lot of different plants.
The idea.
And variations close together.
Yeah.
Nice and tight.
Exactly. Let's say a quick hi with Gary.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
I'll follow you. Yeah, because he is also the gardener here, and you have so many flowers in your garden, so many blossom. Yeah. Say a quick hi to the viewer. Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
welcome to Pine Ridge Garden.
Yeah. And,
Gary was the design. He was the landscape designer
oh, I see.
of
Yeah.
this whole thing. All of the
Wonderful.
paths, all of the stonework. He did it all for
Yeah.
us, and
Wonderful.
of course did the
Yeah.
large water garden as
Yeah.
well.
So, which flower in your garden is your favorite one?
Mine is Gary Bannerman.
Himself.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Tell us about
There's
the
a hybridized daylily
daylily.
in my name. There's one in my wife's kitty's thing.
Yeah. So they'll always be here together.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. This is such a lovely garden. Again, we are at Pine Ridge Gardens in Orchard Park,
Right.
New York, which is on the tour of the open gardens, and opens on Thursday and Friday in the month of July. Come and visit Kitty and Gary's garden and say hi to them. Thank you, Kitty and Gary.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.